Hi, this is Andres. This is the second in a series of videos I'm posting to show how I usually approach digital transformation projects, from the design phase to the execution, delivery, and go live. These videos are based on a previous one where I showcased a solution for creating invoices with the Power Platform. Check it up here or use the link in the description to watch that video. In today's video, I want to argue how design thinking is a key methodology for the success of any project. First, we find out how we run into some pitfalls in the previous video in this series about the discovery phase in a real project that could result in financial losses for your organization and jeopardize the project timeline. Second, we'll see how the design thinking methodology works and why it is key for any project success. And finally, I'll show you how to use a couple of easy to use tools that you probably already have and will come handy, especially if you work in a remote team. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you like my videos. If you find them useful, well, this will tell YouTube that this content is worth watching. Thank you very much and let's go. So let's start with a definition of what design thinking is. And I think it's fair to say that it's basically a methodology, non-linear methodology, this is going to be important, to gather and validate the requirements. And the way we do it is following a methodology, of course, that we'll see in a moment, but putting the most important thing is that we put the customer, the user, in the center. So the methodology, the way it works, is an iterative process. So it's a lean or agile process where we go again and again until we get things right. And what we do is these 4 steps that you see here in the design thinking cycle: observe the users, find the root problems, create multiple solution ideas, and validate with a prototype. This is on a high level what we do again and again until we are sure enough that what we're going to deliver makes sense. And we can break these 4 iterative steps in a more, let's say, formal methodology. And this is what you see in the right of the slide, which is these 7 steps that I'm going to go through now. So first, what we need to do is gather the user's pain points, of course, and I stress here, get out of the building, meaning that if possible, go to where your users are. And it's very important. Imagine, for example, that you are designing an application that's going to be used for in a manufacturing plant. So you need to understand how the technicians operate there, to understand how to build that application in a way that it helps them, whether it's going to be phone, tablet, depending on how they work, you will do one thing or the other. Then analyze the requirements. It speaks by itself. You can use different techniques, maybe user stories, which we saw in the previous video. It's a real good technique that will help you out. And importantly, and this goes hand in hand with the analyzing the requirements, identify the personas that take part in the business process. And this is where we had a big pitfall in the previous video. We will more on that later. And then not until now we start trying to produce creative solutions, so the ideation part. And here you don't need to be Da Vinci here. Anybody can do this. Basically, you need a team of people with different perspectives that can understand the problem from different angles, and this is the most effective way to come up with valid ideas, which then you will need to, let's say, put in boxes in scenarios where you will define, okay, this part of the problem, we solve it like that, and here are the personas that are involved. Put different boxes there, and these are our scenarios that we use to define the problem and the solution, how we are addressing the problem for each of those. Next, we have this creating the low fidelity prototypes to validate, get feedback. This is very important, and I want to stress this out because it's maybe one of the most important steps here, which is by with the user that what we understood and what we want to, the way we want to solve that, makes sense for them and the way they work. And it's important to use low fidelity prototypes for 2 reasons. First, obviously, it's going to cost you less in terms of time and money. And second, users tend to be more honest with their feedback when they see that it's a prototype, so they can completely destroy it with their opinion, because well, you haven't spent a lot of time and money building a very nice website with drag and drop and nice features there. So keep in mind that. And finally, when you are done, you have enough information, it's very important to finalize the design thinking process, delivering a specification of what we are going to do. So what this is the problem and this is what we're going to do. The assistant to be maybe, as we saw in the previous video, but always deliver a prioritized and trackable plan. And in the prioritized part that I said, I want to emphasize that when we refer to prioritize, I mean prioritizing first the features that bring the most value, and this is where we can be more, develop more hand in hand with agile methodologies. Do the things that bring the most value first. Well, now we've done to whiteboard, and I want to start by remembering this part of the to be. In the functional description here, if you remember from the last video, we defined the to be scenario. So we propose a solution, and here we jump back to the whiteboard. We see that the account manager appears everywhere in the definition of the process, and well, this is where we got it wrong. There are more actors, more personas involved in this process. So let's zoom out a little bit, and I already created some cards for you to see that we have three personas actually. So the account manager, we understood very well what their problem is and how to deliver the solution, but we completely missed the accountants and the controllers. And here, this is where the design thinking methodology allows us to put more people into the room to discuss how the process holistically needs to what needs to solve. Because if we had only focused on the account manager, then the accountants would have told us, okay, but where are you putting those invoices, because they need to be stored in a specific place. And the controllers would have told us something about, okay, yeah, but I need to give the okay for those invoices because we need to ensure that they are complying with regulations, for example. So there are different requirements and problems that we were not taking into account when we defined the assist situation that to be, because we only spoke to the account managers. And now I want to take the opportunity to invite you to use at least Whiteboard. For example, this application, you already have it in your Microsoft 365 subscription. It's somewhere here, yeah, exactly here. And it allows you to create these, has different templates. Let me go to the template section here. We have different templates for different types of workshops. For example, we have for problem solving and this is already built for you, but you don't need to get that fancy. Just create some boxes. We can put some notes here with different colors. We can add some shapes here, arrows, circles, anything, and we can start building diagrams, scenarios. As you see here, for example, we have a column for each scenario and a lane, a row per each persona. And inside we are putting the cards to specify, for example, requirements that this persona for this scenario needs. Great. So to summarize, we've seen how we can use design thinking to avoid missing key requirements and, sometimes more importantly, key stakeholders that take part in a business process. Thank you for getting this far. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you found this content useful. And remember that you can hire my consulting services via the contact form that you can see in my website. You'll find the link below in the description box. Thank you very much, and until next time.